go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bye, Mom and Dad.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really do.
You want to hug it? Oh, let's go, champ.
Hug it, TK.
Thanks, champ.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, champ. Yeah, let's do it.
Tony.
And we're into the Renee and Tone Zone.
Here we are, the Renee and Tone Zone. We are locked in.
Thank you very much.
Sorry,
No,
I didn't
thank
mean
you.
to move
No,
your
thank
water
you
out of the
very
way
much,
on
buddy.
you.
We, I thought, had a great pay-per-view in my own personal opinion. Thank you all for being here. It means a lot. And now I'll stay and answer questions. Anybody who didn't get to answer or ask a question, get one of their questions answered, I will answer questions for everybody who wants to ask.
Who's got what? Fire them up.
Lots of hands.
I know.
This is going to be fun.
Tony, Alan Owens here. You have one of the largest platforms in professional wrestling, yet you use it to spotlight a lot of legends in the game. We had the Rougeaus here. We had the Von Erichs at All In. You have a whole entire cup named after Owen Hart. And a lot of times people say you just do it for brownie points. But when we were at the 2300 Arena, we had Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, which was completely off air. You brought out all these legends and stuff like that. We had Sting come through, Jeff Jarrett. What makes it so important for you to spotlight all these legends in the game?
Well, I think each is a specific situation, and when you go to some of these great cities, it's really important to pay respect, in my opinion, to some of the legends of wrestling who made it possible. And in certain cases, these are actually the promoters who promoted wrestling in those towns. So when we've been in Memphis, we've honored a lot of the great legends of Memphis many years ago and brought Dave Brown for the ceremony, and Dave Brown even called a match on Dynamite. We had Dave Brown calling Kenny and Hangman against Private Party. We had so many of the great legends. Like you said, we've had the Von Erichs in Texas, and a great tribute there, but also had Dustin Rhodes involved, a great legend there himself, another legendary wrestling family. So many great legends. It was fantastic to have the Rougeaus here tonight in Montreal. I thought that was excellent. You mentioned Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and his brother Doug, and even bringing in Jeff Jarrett and Hot Stuff's old partner, the Stinger, in Philadelphia. That was something that I really wanted to do, being in the 2300 Arena. I don't think the legacy of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert gets talked about nearly enough, and he's somebody that was a big influence on me, so I really wanted to have that moment in Philadelphia. Just like when we've been in these towns, I think it's great to pay respect to the legends who paved the way in these different cities for wrestling, in these different promotions all over the world. Sometimes they don't get their due, and it was really nice to have the Rougeaus here tonight. They were wonderful to deal with. And I was talking to Ray after the show. He said he hadn't thrown that kick in almost 40 years, and he had such a great time. And
Still got it.
Yeah, he did. It was great. So thank you for asking, and I love being able to honor the history of professional wrestling here in AEW anytime we can do that. Thank you. Oh, you don't have to do that. You never have to clap. You guys don't have to do the clap. You guys are the working media. You don't have to do that. No, I'm serious. No. It's like you're working media. You're doing a great job. Thank you. I respect what you do. Thank you. And please, with that, I'll keep answering your questions. God bless you.
Hi, Tony. Davey Portman from Poison Runner Pod. When AEW started, you were doing 4 pay-per-views a year, and now it seems we're at the point where it's almost monthly. What challenges did you find booking this pay-per-view when trying to promote the biggest pay-per-view of the year in just a few weeks in Wembley?
I think there were so many moments tonight that helped pave the way to Wembley, and they were huge moments that set the stage, including, as it stands right now, announcing 3 of the big championship fights, 3 world title fights that we came out of the pay-per-view strongly promoting. A lot of things can still happen between now and Wembley, but there were great moments tonight, including Willow Nightingale capturing the world title. The last match of 2025, Willow Nightingale defeated Mercedes Moné, and that was the last time we saw Mercedes here for a long time. And now to see them back under these circumstances, I'm really excited about Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné as it stands right now, going into Wembley Stadium for the world title. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, 2 great legends of wrestling here in their home country of Canada, defeated 2 of AEW's great stars from many, many years. And I thought another great match with Cope and Christian retaining the titles. Very excited about that. And of course, the Young Bucks, what a night for them. A lot of intrigue tonight. And certainly one thing that I know I'm excited for is Young Bucks versus Cope and Christian. As it stands right now, that's the World Tag Team Championship match. Young Bucks have earned that right, and I'm very excited. That's a match I've wanted to see for years, and Cope and Christian retained the championships, and that's why I thought it was perfect to announce that huge match for the first time ever. In my personal opinion, two of the greatest tag teams I've ever seen in my life, Cope and Christian and the Young Bucks for the tag team championship at Wembley Stadium. And then, of course, Will Ospreay won the Owen. We know coming out of Forbidden Door, Will Ospreay was going to challenge for the world title. Kenny Omega did retain the championship. I thought Kevin Knight was absolutely fantastic, and he proved to me and proved, I think, in that match, in my opinion, he absolutely belongs in the main event scene, that he is a great champion. He's been a great TNT champion, a great World Trios champion. I agreed with a lot of the things Speedball Mike Bailey said about Kevin Knight. I think he's destined to be one of the very great stars and already is a top star in wrestling and has done so well. And there have been a lot of injuries and a lot of circumstances that along the way led to some changes in plans, and time after time the AEW wrestlers have been fantastic, and it's very exciting, I thought, to have a great pay-per-view show coming off such momentum for AEW. The last few pay-per-views have also been outstanding. The pay-per-view buys are tremendous, and the viewership of AEW TV is some of the best we've ever had. I mean, right now when you look, considering it's been years since we had 3 straight weeks of TBS with over 700,000 live viewers on TBS, but also years ago when we had that, we had no viewers on TBS and HBO Max at the same time. And now we have this great streaming platform and have added viewers since then. So I really believe this is one of the greatest periods for AEW in terms of the quality of the shows, but also the momentum of the promotion. There's a lot of exciting business metrics, and I'm more excited for the future of AEW and the things we can achieve than I've ever been before. Thank you.
Hi, Kate Davies from Post Wrestling. There are a number of performers who've been having visa issues with performing in the United States. I know that some of those seem to have been resolved. Who is still being affected by that, and how close do you think the visa problems are to being dealt with?
What a great question. We just got Beast Mortos and Commander. Mark Davis was quicker. We had some of the wrestlers in Mexico for a long time and have dealt with a lot of those. Obviously, Commander and Beast Mortos just came back. El Clone just came back. So those are all just in the last week that have returned. And Commander, I guess, the week before that for the Brawl in the Ballpark with his successful return to Minnesota at that great event. So over the last few weeks, we've had some of the wrestlers from Mexico coming back. We do still have a few obstacles, but really we've overcome a lot of those and have brought a lot of the wrestlers back. So not as many of those challenges as there were a few weeks ago, but thankfully we're very grateful to all those wrestlers being back with us. Thank you.
Hey, Tony. It's Matt from Watch Mojo. Congratulations. Great show tonight. The crowd was so hot. We at Watch Mojo, we like to rank things. That's kind of our deal. I'm curious what Tony Khan's top 3 highlights from AEW Redemption is. Give me your top 3. 3, 2, 1. What are they?
Well, I have to say there were on a night of a lot of great highlights. I think there were so many. I rather than keep everybody here all night while I try to go through the whole pay-per-view, I would say, it's a great question, but there were so many great things about this pay-per-view, and rather than try to rank them or disrespect anybody by leaving them out, I just think people should watch the show. It was a really tremendous show, top to bottom. There were a lot of great moments on the show, several new champions, and a lot of big stakes going into Wembley Stadium, and some really great moments, in my own opinion, on the show tonight. And like you said, the crowd was red hot, and there were a lot of great moments. That beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but I thought there were some great moments tonight. I'd have to think about that rather than on the spot, and rather than keep everyone here all night, I'll punt on that one. Thank you.
Hey Tony, Josh Markowitz with the Ariel Helwani Show. I want to ask this. Tonight marks the 48th AEW pay-per-view, 48 pay-per-views down. If you were to go back and give your 2019 self a piece of advice as a booker, as a businessman, whatever it is, if you were to go back and give yourself in May of 2019 some advice, what would you say?
Good question.
That's a great question. I really have to think, and rather than keep everybody here, I'll I think there's a lot of lessons, and over 7 years, you learn a lot. So rather than try to condense it all into one thing, I would say I've learned a lot of things, and I wouldn't go back and change anything because you can't go back in time. I always talk about time cop. You can't go back in time and change all these experiences. I think these experiences got us to this point. There's a lot of things I wish had been different. I wish Brody Lee was still with us. I wish Jay Briscoe was still with us. But of the things in my control, I think AEW's grown a lot. It's changed a lot, and I have changed a lot. And those experiences have been formative. Even losing Jay, and I would gladly trade all the things I've learned to have Jay here, but I learned a lot after that. And I probably changed more from that experience of losing a friend and somebody that I wish I could have gotten to know even better, that I was really bonding with and really clicking with, and I think was one of the best wrestlers I ever worked with, and I only got to do 3 things with him, and I'll never forget the last time I saw him, and then I never saw him again. And the lessons he teaches me, and he's still with me, and he's still with all of us. And then thinking about John, about Brody, and I learned a lot from him, and I think the best show we've ever done was the tribute we did to him, and that was a fitting tribute, and it was the least we could do for him. And I wish they were both here, and all I can say is, they're both still with us, and the things I've learned along the way, whether it was after losing John, and as a result, we all came together and did the best show we ever did as a tribute to him, and to lose Jay, and I think the best thing I can say is I think I'm a much, much better person for the lessons I've learned from Jay and from Mark. Thank you. God bless you.
Hi, Tony, Ash.
Hey.
With the success of AEW Redemption tonight, do you plan on coming back? If so, when?
I would love to come back to Montreal. I would love to bring another pay-per-view back here, and also to bring the AEW television back here, because we made a great TV debut. I love having Montreal be one of the Continental Classic towns. It's a great, great town for wrestling, and I am excited to come back. I'd love to come back, and I know it's our first pay-per-view here, but after the performance tonight, I can promise it will not be the last pay-per-view here. We will definitely be back here for TV and pay-per-view, but in the meantime, I hope the next time we bring TV here, people will turn out and support us, because the first TV we did was fantastic here. So, yeah, well, thank you. It was Continental Classic season. It was great.
Also, Montreal in the summer, beautiful.
It was really, really great.
It's real nice.
It was tremendous. This was a great time to come here. It was beautiful, beautiful, and it was great being here. Obviously, when we were in the Continental Classic, it was in the dead of winter, so it was a very different experience for the wrestlers in Montreal.
I had no batteries left on my phone after.
Uh-oh. Mine's about to die right now,
I still have
actually.
something. Thank you for, because I'm handicapped, so I can't seat well. So you guys give me a booster seat, which is really helpful. At other shows, I won't mention, I had no help. So really, thank you for your team for.
That's the least we could do. No, thank you for
Really
being here.
appreciate
No, I
guys.
appreciate you being here. Really, I
love what
appreciate
you
being
do for
here.
the business. You signed my friends, and I love your show. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for that. Hi. Hey. Yeah, with the
You guys
Bullet
made,
Club?
you guys made
Bullet
eye
Club right
contact.
here.
I think you got to commit.
How's it going, Tony? Lou Puglisi from Big LP Wrestling. Last year at All In Texas, you guys held a joint interactive fan experience with StarCast, and you guys also had AEW karaoke, which I was a part of. Had a really great time. Are there plans down the road at future pay-per-views to have these type of interactive fan experiences?
Well, I believe in All in London there will be interactive experiences on Friday and Saturday before the show on Sunday. It's the bank holiday weekend in England, so for anybody who can make it over, you are all here in the Commonwealth. So we'll be going back to England, and I can't wait. I love England so much, and London is a home to me, and it's one of my favorite places in the world, and we'll be having some great events there around All In, and hopefully more to come like that at some of the major AEW events.
What's your karaoke song if you were to jump up there? What do you hit?
Suspicious Minds by
Oh,
Elvis.
good to know. Noted.
That's right. That is a good question. That is a good question. I will do a Suspicious Minds.
Hi, Tony. Braden from Poison Rana here. I loved the fact that we started an hour early today, 7 p.m. I know we have All In for international audiences. It'll be different. But in Toronto, we had a daytime show as well once. I was just wondering if you ever toying with moving times around with
Well,
the
I
paper.
like this. I thought this was great because I made sure to get the show over before midnight Eastern, and we did a great job. And here we are in the scrum, and so it was an earlier start time than most of our pay-per-views, and also an earlier end time than a lot of the pay-per-views. So I thought that was tremendous, where the show's over before midnight on the East Coast and over before 9 p.m. on the West Coast. I think that was excellent for everybody here. And also I did a little bit less action to start, where there was, 11 matches, but also a lot packed into the main pay-per-view card. So you felt like you got a lot of value for your dollar, whether it was an American dollar or Canadian dollar. And I did think that it was an excellent pay-per-view, and we certainly put a lot into the main card. That's why I wanted to start it earlier. And I felt like bell to bell for the action, it was in line with what you'd expect in terms of having awesome matches and so much great wrestling in the pay-per-view, but also over here well before midnight. Thank you.
Hi, Tony. Joel Pearl, Fightful and In the Weeds. Back when my AEW was announced, there was a piece in the press release that mentioned an AEW podcast network. With the recent news of SiriusXM having a new partner, has that kind of increased the not only likelihood but also the movement on an AEW podcast network?
We've been working on it. We're still planning the AEW podcast network with our friends, and that is coming. So that's been in the works for quite a while, and it's still in the works. So it's going to be very good. I'm looking forward to the AEW podcast network as we've been planning for a while. So that's going to be excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Tony. Riley Jabor from Rogers Sports and Media. You mentioned earlier Brawl in the Ballpark, and AEW has kind of built a bit of a reputation for running wrestling in venues that maybe aren't traditionally thought of as wrestling venues. Since we are here in Montreal, in Canada, are there any Canadian venues that would fit that list that you've thought of that are not traditionally thought of as homes for professional wrestling?
Well, let me ask you a question that could serve two purposes for me. What are the best golf courses in Montreal? What's the best golf?
I'm a terrible
out there?
golfer. Somebody
Anybody
else
know a
take
good
this.
golf course out here? Because then that'd be good. What's the best golf course out here? Do you know?
There's one in Kanawagi, a native reserve.
Yeah?
I know a few people that can help you.
That's good. Well, because we can do Fairway to Heaven for the first time ever, because we had Fairway to Hell, which I thought was a great show. And Fairway to Hell was a tremendous event. It's first ever AEW Redemption tonight. Earlier this year, we had the first ever Fairway to Hell, crowned a new national champion, Mark Davis, who held the title up until tonight. Great match, Mark Davis and Jack Perry. Tremendous night of wrestling. Darby Allin versus Pac. It was an awesome show. And I'm excited to do another Fairway to Hell. So I am looking for a good golf course. And next time, maybe we can even do outdoor. And also, I think in conjunction with Fairway to Hell, we can have a charity golf tournament, because I agree with many of the things Speedball Mike Bailey said, particularly the ones in English. And that I think wrestling could be a force for good. And I'm really looking forward to having an opportunity next time we do Fairway to Hell to add the charity golf tournament, Fairway to Heaven. And I've been getting tuned up and using it as a good excuse to play some golf. Thank you.
You have been busy on the golf course.
I have been playing. I played more this year than I have in years combined, because we're getting tuned up
You
for.
deserve a little leisure time.
It's the only time to not, to get stressed about anything. So it's occasionally going out there, and I like to walk.
Yeah. What else we got for Tony?
Hey, Tony, Sully Khan from Slam Wrestling. First off, great show tonight.
Thanks, cuz.
I was about to say, this much con in one room, I don't know if people are ready for it.
Ready. I'm ready.
What was the most exciting part for you in putting together a pay-per-view for the first time, inaugural pay-per-view?
Oh, so fun. There were so many things unplanned. I talked about Mystico getting hurt. I planned for Mystico to be involved in this show, and then there was concern that he might have to be held back, and then we did end up holding him back. And I'm optimistic. Hopefully, Mystico can come back for Grand Slam Mexico, but he has been out of action since he was attacked at Arena Mexico. and then we were holding out hope he might be back. He wasn't. There were a number of other injuries and things along the way. There have been so many injuries and obstacles with the women and the men with injuries. And the great thing about having in my personal opinion, is such an amazing roster of wrestlers is the depth and the way they've stepped up. And you've seen multiple women and men step into positions based on injuries, based on changes, whether it was somebody got hurt, there was visa issues, all these things that have happened along this past year. Tonight, everybody stepped in and did, I thought, just in my opinion, a fantastic job. I enjoyed all 10 matches. It's just my opinion. I really loved the pay-per-view, and I think we're having a great year of pay-per-view and television. We're having a great year of business, certainly, on pay-per-view and television. And it was the first redemption, but it was also a very special night. It was a unique position we were in tonight, having the opportunity to have a debut pay-per-view in an incredible city like Montreal, the first pay-per-view ever in Montreal, the first ever AEW redemption. So many of the great Canadian AEW stars really showed out tonight, but really top to bottom, so many of the women and men from all over the world showed out tonight. Also, a couple of great American women winning championships. Great to see a real Latino man as a national champion. And I thought it was an awesome, awesome night of wrestling. And for a first ever AEW redemption, I think we set the bar very, very high. And for a number of wrestlers who had a shot at redemption coming off what's happened to them in recent months, they followed through. And I thought that was really cool. So I enjoyed it very much. Thank you for asking. And it is nice to have another con in here. Could be a lot worse.
Hi, Tony. Michael Patika, Fanatics View. Just a question. You announced Full Gear. I'm just wondering, are we getting an announcement about Wrestle Dream soon? And if possible, will there be maybe a third Canadian pay-per-view this year?
I can't speak to the next pay-per-view in Canada, but I'll definitely be bringing more great pay-per-views to Canada because so far, what a showing from Canada. Here in Montreal, in Vancouver, and of course in Toronto, we've had great support, and Montreal really showed out tonight. So there are multiple cities here in Canada that have proved they can host great pay-per-views, and Canada is such a great country for wrestling. So many of the great Canadian wrestlers, again, Kenny Omega, Speedball Mike Bailey, Cope and Christian, Chris Jericho, so many of them showed out tonight, and it was a really great night in my personal opinion. And a lot of wrestlers, ones that have been in AEW from the very first show, and a lot of them that have signed with us just in the past year or two, really stepped up tonight. And I'm very excited about All In. I do think that here in Canada, there's a lot of great places for pay-per-views, even if it isn't going to be in the remaining few that we do announce for 2026. I know in years to come, this great country of Canada will be a great home to many AEW pay-per-views for years to come. Thank you.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, let's go.
I love it.
Speaking of the great Canadians, Canada's sweetheart right here. Let's go.
Trying to keep up my status around
Let's go.
here. Any other questions for Tony, guys?
Hi, my name is Jean-François Calais from Les Rois de la Reine. Tony, can I perceive that you are a great supporter of the indie scene? Mike Bailey talked briefly about it, the Montreal indie scene. Do you know what's going on in the Quebec indie scene personally?
I am not as schooled. Having been here, I've talked to Mike about it a bit. Some of the great legends from Quebec have either wrestled in AEW or Ring of Honor or both. And it's a great tradition that Mike talked about very eloquently. I'm not as familiar. When we come to the cities, I like to come in. Now, we've had a very busy week of shows all over, and because I had to go to the Comic-Con, I wasn't able to settle in, which was a great experience that Warner Brothers gave us the opportunity to do the San Diego Comic-Con. But I just flew in from San Diego, so I didn't get to go to all the indie shows in advance of this show. You know, a great experience in Australia, for example, is I went and checked out the company where Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher got their start, and it was tremendous. And when I'm in England, I like to go see the Rev Pro shows and check out other indies that I've seen around England. When I am in Canada, I would really like to get out and go to more of the indie shows. And honestly, because we had the Comic-Con, I was flying in, and I spent basically all of yesterday on a plane. So it would, be something I am very interested in, is seeing some of the independent wrestling here in Quebec. I really enjoyed the experience working with MLP and working with Scott, and we did the show in Windsor, Ontario for the Global Wars with ROH and Maple Leaf, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I always enjoy working, it's fun doing the shows on my own, but it's fun working with other people for a show like Forbidden Door with me and Ghetto, or a show like Global Wars at that time working with Scott. Thank you.
Did we do it?
Is there anybody here that still has...
Ash, you got another one?
And we got a couple more, it looks like.
It is Ash. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody that didn't go first before we get to that?
We'll get to, and we'll make sure everybody gets to ask a question.
I feel like asking one about Kenny Omega. Because, more specifically, because you just talked about how, actually Speedball was talking about how he's one of the best in the world, or he is the best of all time, I think he said. And he's about to main event Wembley. I don't think he's ever got a chance to headline a stadium outside of New Japan. And I think this is a really big moment for him, too. And for myself, I grew up with a sense of national pride, knowing Bret Hart was like the best wrestler in the world. I still feel that same sense with Kenny Omega now. Can you talk about what he means to not just AEW, what does he mean to wrestling right now, going into Wembley as the main event, as the champion?
Kenny Omega has been instrumental from the very beginning of AEW. I'm so glad you brought him up, because it's because of Kenny Omega there is an AEW. And Kenny Omega really helped prove that there was a market worldwide to support a second worldwide wrestling promotion. And it was at Wrestle Kingdom when Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho wrestled, the kind of business they did, the live house, and also the amount of streaming purchases, it showed everybody, including me, that there really is a market. And I'm a huge believer in it. I watched the match live, and to see the kind of interest, it got me thinking. And it was almost exactly 3 months later, when I was in Beverly Hills, when I had the opportunity to talk to the president at the time of TBS and TNT about bringing a wrestling show back to TBS and TNT, and that show's Wednesday Night Dynamite. And I've been writing Wednesday Night Dynamite shows since I was 12 years old in 1995, 31 years ago as a kid. I wasn't even in high school yet. And I didn't stop. I kept doing it. And long after college, I still would write shows and send them to my one friend, and we would write shows and send them back and forth. And to be honest, Kenny was a big part of those too. And Kenny and Matt and Nick. And then when I had the chance to actually be in this position and to launch a wrestling promotion, it was so important to have the elite involved, and so important to have Kenny. And Kenny Omega is a true founding father of AEW. He's an executive vice president of AEW, but I can tell you there would be no AEW without Kenny Omega. I would not be in this chair. I would not be in the position to be the president of a professional wrestling organization of the caliber of All Elite Wrestling without a great world champion, executive vice president, a friend, and a founding father like Kenny Omega. He's one of the greatest wrestlers, in my own personal opinion, ever to come out of the country of Canada, and I also think he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's one of my own personal favorites to watch, and it feels like there's people all over the world that feel that way. So to be able to bring this pay-per-view back to his home country and to have Kenny in the main event standing tall at the end, I thought it was very special, and certainly it's a lot of intrigue because Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, they know each other very, very well. They've battled, they've teamed, they have a very special relationship, and I think we all have a lot to look forward to in the weeks to come and at Wembley Stadium at AEW All In, and I'm very, very grateful for Kenny Omega. Thank you for asking. Bash.
Hi, Tony and Renee. Big fan. Great show tonight. I'm Paul Agricola from Fanatics View. Just had one question before we let you guys go. In the world of video games, there's a lot of anticipation for another AEW Fight Forever 2. Any chance we can get a sequel to that or something else new that could kind of evolve from that?
That's a great question. I've never been the expert in gaming, and I have to say that I would be interested in taking another run in gaming and trying things. We learned a lot from the experience of launching Fight Forever. For a company as young as AEW to have a game on the market, it was a very ambitious project, and absolutely at some point I would be interested. And also we developed other games and platforms, so I do think there are a lot of different ways and different types of games. However, absolutely, I do think that's a great point and a good thought, and something at some point I would be interested in. I would never want to rush into it, and we worked really hard, and also learned a lot from our first foray into gaming, and I do think it'd be something interesting to try again. Thank you. Ash? Yeah.
Hi again, Tony.
Hey, buddy.
Very serious question. What's your drink of choice?
This is coffee.
Coffee?
It's coffee. Water and coffee. A lot of water and coffee.
Okay, that's it. Thanks.
That is very good.
All right, thank you guys all so much for coming out here, joining us for our very first pay-per-view in Montreal. We appreciate you all very much.
Hey, I really do appreciate you all being here, and I don't take it lightly that you're all here and that you all made your way here to cover this show. A lot of you have been covering AEW from the very beginning, and some of you I'm seeing here for the first time. Whether you've been to a lot of these shows and whether you've been covering AEW from the very beginning in some cases, or whether this is your first time here, I really appreciate it. It would not be possible for us to have launched this promotion without the support of the wrestling media covering this and giving us the chance to talk about AEW and what we do. Thank you for covering this, and I appreciate you all who asked questions. I wanted to make sure I stayed so that everyone got to ask something. Thank you, and I hope you all get home safe. God bless you. Thank you.